Welcome back, guys. Collector Spotlight. We are here with Dan and Steve and Chris, and we're going to be talking through Dan's collection this time. We did Steve's last time. Fantastic. This guy right here down below, Dan Shudlick, has been in our group for a little while now, and he's pretty, I would say, Dan, you're pretty well known in the collector community, right?
Maybe, yeah, I think so.
I think so. And
I've been seeing his videos for a couple years now of his collection, so yeah.
And
Yeah.
pictures.
Uh-huh.
and pictures, yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
picture whore.
I think people will recognize your collection when we're going through it. And you're from Germany, Dan, correct?
True.
And yeah, we're super pumped to have you here. So let's kind of get into some of your images that you sent over. Let me bring that up. So we're gonna start here. So this is the entrance to your collection room area, right?
Yeah, the living room, basically.
Yeah. You actually live amongst your collection is
I
basically
do.
what's going
Yeah,
on.
I'm quite lucky to have a mistress that accepts that.
Yeah, that's very rare.
Very rare. Yeah. It's amazing.
I'm basically surrounded by it all day long. Well, not when
So-
I'm at work, but
So Dan, does she actually like Star Wars then?
she likes Star Wars. Yeah, that's what sort of brought us together. Just all things nerdy. And
Yeah.
I mean, she's not a collector. She's not insane.
Yeah, sure.
But she likes it, and that's what made
She's
us.
not-
talk in the first
She's
place.
not a junkie. She's not a junkie like you are.
Well,
We're all junkies in a way with
not
collecting.
Star Wars, but
My
yeah,
question is, do the cats have Star Wars names?
they do.
Ah,
The black one is called Poe,
Mhm.
as in Poe Dameron,
Yeah.
and the red one is actually Carrie,
nice.
or
Very good.
obviously Carrie
Yeah.
Fisher.
Very quickly, sure.
But when we got them, we were told that the red one is a girl, which apparently is really rare for red cats.
Oh wow.
And then at some point, she showed us her little earthworm coming out.
Mm. So
And,
Carrie's a boy.
Carrie, yeah, she's transgender.
Transgender, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
there you
name,
go.
but he's
So
still Carrie.
it is very rare, huh?
Yeah, it is apparently. And now, but we made it work, and she's still a happy little princess.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Okay, so moving on to here. So you got a couple sequel prints.
Yep, one
Okay.
from the Last Jedi. One is from Celebration.
Oh, cool.
So did you go to that celebration and got that? in
I
person?
didn't. No, I wasn't there. But a good friend of mine was there, and he got it for me.
Cool.
And the other one was given out at cinemas in Germany for the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker.
That's cool.
So, as a OT admirer, it's a little rare sometimes to find OT people who like the sequel stuff.
That is true. But I do.
You're looking
Okay.
at one right here. So
Well, you don't count, Matt.
okay, all right.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, I do, because there's quite a personal story to it, probably, especially The Force Awakens.
Mm.
I don't know if we want to go all mushy now, but
No, you can mush on.
5.5 years ago now, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer.
Mm.
And as I went through the whole therapy and like chemo and everything, that's when the whole Disney takeover happened, and things started to roll. And then right after my chemotherapy finished, like 2 weeks later, the RS guys took me to Anaheim to Celebration.
Nice.
And that was the one where they showed the trailer first, the one with Chewie,
that's
I'm
cool.
home, or we're home.
Right.
And I was there and all that, and it has like a very emotional meaning to me, of course, because of that, because it was like I was starting anew, and so was Star Wars. Like my favorite thing ever is going on as well as my life. So
Sure.
Yeah.
the Force Awakens has a really like spot in my heart.
So we're gonna move on, not because we didn't like your story or
No,
because we
yeah.
don't think it's important, but we're gonna move on.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's good.
No, but that's
Talk
cool.
about
Dan.
Well,
monster.
I will say that when they did my collection, Matt flew through my collection. Okay, next. Shut up, Steve. Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't
I'll
get
tr-
to tell any touching stories or anything
Well,
like that.
thank
so-
God. Like we don't
Well,
need
we
to
hear
a
you
bunch of
talk all the
touching
time,
stories,
Steve, so we don't need to hear all your stories again.
Jeez. No, that's really cool, Dan. And just so people understand, like Dan's name is spelled should lick, and it's actually not spelled like that. Just so people know, it's just so you can pronunciate his name, pronounce his name. So it's just hard to actually like read your name and know what it says. So
Yeah,
So when
that's-
you were listening to us and seeing, like, were you sitting in the background? It's pronounced should, like dumbasses or what? Anything like that?
well, Steve got it right, but
Okay.
then
Yeah, he
told me
did.
he tweeted it and he asked Rob. So I get that every time. It's
Okay.
a Polish surname, and nobody ever gets it right.
yeah,
So
That's-
I'm used
yeah.
to it.
it's all right. And then let's move on to these. So who's the artist for these?
Those were Mondo prints by
Malios.
I forgot his name.
Ali Moss. Ali Moss.
Ali Moss,
Yeah,
Ali
yeah,
Moss.
exactly.
That's-
Ollie Moss. That's him.
Okay.
Although these are not the actual Mondo prints, these are reprints.
Okay.
Um,
They're pretty though. They're beautiful.
They are nice.
they're really nice, and I would kill for an original set. They're small as well. It's just a small reprint.
Yeah.
Um,
They're pretty though.
but
They're
they're
really
expensive as hell. So
yeah, they really are. They really
Yeah,
are.
I just went to
that.
eBay. I couldn't find any that were for sale or had been sold. They're nobody has them out for sale.
nah.
Yeah,
And if they show up, they're like $3,000 for one of them or something.
it's crazy.
It's insane.
So this is you're sitting on this couch, correct?
Exactly.
Yep, you're sitting on this couch, and that's kind
what
of what
I'm
you're
looking at right now.
Yep, that's really cool. Love all this. Let's go down. We're gonna go through some of the wides, and then we'll talk through the tights and stuff. So this is behind you, which is really cool. This is like,
Very
is this like
nice.
just your dining room area?
Yeah, that's basically the dining area.
Yeah, that's really cool.
a big
Beautiful
S.
setup. Beautiful setup, Dan.
Very clean, very minimal. It's nice.
Dan, is there any other places you collect? Any other rooms you have collection stuff in, or do
Yeah.
you just try to keep it to this area?
No, I wish I could.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in the office.
Okay.
In the pictures later on, there's like that green droid dome and the stormtrooper cabinet. That's in the office.
Okay.
And
So-
there's other stuff just everywhere.
Okay, yeah. So Dan, if you just so I know, like if you want another piece, right? If you want another bust or if you want another helmet or whatever, do you have to now say something has to go?
If you ask the missus, yeah.
That's so good.
But I keep getting stuff, and I have a real problem letting go of stuff,
Yeah.
which
What?
That's so does
eventually
Chris.
will
So
end
does
up
Chris.
as
Oh,
a
yeah, I don't
serious
get rid
problem.
of almost nothing.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a problem. But either way, no. Either way, look, you have a very you have. A
Do you
fantastic-
rotate? Do you rotate stuff?
Sometimes, yeah.
I'm very jealous. The way you've done this is very tasteful. It looks, it just looks really good, and you get to be around your collection all day, right? And
Yeah.
Right.
I have to go down into what I call the dungeon sometimes, and to go down to the dungeon to be with my collection, and you got to buy stuff for the rest of the house that don't necessarily like nearly as much as your collection. So
that was the deal when we moved. It was either I get like a biggest living room that I can put all that stuff in, or a biggest basement or something.
Yeah.
And we found this place, and as soon as we entered and I saw this living room, it's like 50 square meters, which is pretty big for German standards.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
This is the place, and luckily we got it. So
No, that's fantastic. I like
When
that.
you're eating, do you feel like you have all these eyes on you?
well, mostly the eyes of the cats are on me when I'm eating.
No, okay, yeah.
Those are real eyes, and that's scary.
Actual
The other
eyes.
ones I don't mind so much.
So this is to your right.
Yeah.
And this is your is it actually a working furnace or whatever it is?
It is a
Fireplace?
working fireplace, although we've not ever used it.
Okay, perfect. It's awesome though. I mean, talk about a
Yeah,
perfect
it's
like
perfect
Jabba's
setup.
palace
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
thing.
The whole copper like housing, it's just perfect for.
Was it
for
actually
that.
done like that originally? Like the
Yeah,
copper?
that was like that when we moved in.
It's fantastic.
So I was like really lucky, and then I put the gargoyle thing on there to.
Now is that a Salacious? Is that a Sideshow Salacious and a
That's the
Regal
Sideshow
robot?
Salacious, yep. That's
And
the
the-
Sideshow Salacious Grump that I got when they initially made them.
Okay.
For whatever it was, €300 or something, or so $300,
Yeah.
$400,
Great.
Amazing.
which is crazy looking at the prices now.
Yeah.
And the
But yeah,
gargoyle?
that's one of them.
And the gargoyle?
Yeah, what about
And the
this guy?
gargoyle is actually fan made.
Yeah.
That's again, RS are guilty.
Mm.
They had a guy making a life-size Jabba for a convention in England a couple of years back, and they had the mold. And one time I said I'd like one, so
That's cool.
just stuffed them up, and that's what this is.
That's really
So
cool,
I
dude.
think where I can put.
Sorry, Rob, if they come to you now and ask for this.
I know, right? I tell you what, there's a whole lot of people that like this guy. They want a Salacious.
Yeah.
You can't really
Yeah.
find those for good prices anymore.
It's like a perfect pose for a perfect spot right there.
It is. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then we move on. Where is this around you? Is this back behind you or is this
Right next to Salacious.
okay?
Like,
This wall. So this wall, I feel like people have seen, right?
Yes.
This is like a really nice looking wall that you change things out every now and then.
yeah.
But it's beautiful. I
I
love
like-
the texture
I
of
like
the
that.
wall behind it. It's freaking great.
So which
Yeah.
which Boba Fett helmet is that?
That's actually an FPH2 ESB. But that's going to get changed out for an RS very soon.
Hell yeah.
Ah, okay.
And I've had that for a couple of years. Bit of
FPH.
a-
Did you say
Fett
FPH?
Pride. Fett Pride. He's a
Okay.
guy. He's a guy in the community who fucked a lot of people over.
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
It was a nightmare to get this, and it was finished by a German guy. I think he's going by Prop Painter, but he's not very well known.
Okay.
Anyway, it took about maybe 2.5 years to get this, and once it arrived, as good as it is, I couldn't enjoy it anymore because
Yeah,
of the whole story connected to it.
that's
Mhm.
a
Well,
bummer.
Yeah, it's still here, not for long though, because that'll soon go and be replaced by something much better.
Yeah,
So
well,
I
you've
wanna-
actually seen it, right? You've actually seen the
I have
RS
seen it,
version.
and I've stared at it for hours. I've like the rawcast alone is like perfect.
Yeah,
And I watched John paint them, and he's like, that paint job there. I mean, that's why I didn't include a close up because I didn't want to feature this one.
yeah,
But it looks like a cartoon version compared to what John does.
crazy,
yeah.
man. That's crazy.
Exactly.
We're all
the-
very
The
excited.
paint job is just amazing. The helmet is amazing. Metal ears look brilliant.
Yeah,
Which is,
Can you
someone
tell the
great.
difference between the metal ears and the resin ears?
well, once they're painted, there's not much bare metal left. So
right.
it's really down to Mojo and how it was originally done.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
This
But-
this
It's just nice to have them.
the stormtrooper bust. I had a question about that. Is the helmet a different? It is. The helmet's a different white than the armor itself. Is that how it was in the movies, painted a different color, or is that just the way it's worked out because of how
Well,
you piece it together?
The helmet is an HTP helmet
Mhm.
that I
Okay.
painted and weathered and everything.
Mhm.
While the armor obviously is just raw ABS.
Right.
Okay.
And I've had this armor for like these pieces for at least 9 years now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's one of the very first sets that I got of RS. So it's yellowed a bit, which ABS tends to do.
Yeah, sure.
While the paint, it's not pure white, but it's a different white. If you look at close-ups in the movie, though, you can see that the helmets didn't quite match the armor because they just used white paint as well.
Yeah,
So it's a bit of a different finish.
which makes sense. Yeah, which makes sense.
But yeah, that's just the nature of the beast.
So Dan, because you're big into stormtroopers, you know a lot about stormtroopers, and so
I do, yeah.
which is really cool. Do you know, like, did they? Because I know they originally made the first stormtrooper helmets out of HDP, right?
Yeah.
Did they also make the first armor sets out of HDP as well?
No, that never happened.
Okay, so why did they do two different things?
The reason why they used the HDPE, well, first of all, that was down to Ainsworth, because it was outsourced to him because the backform broke in the studio.
Okay.
And he was doing fish ponds, and they were done from that polypropylene. And it's a very flexible sort of plastic. You've got the helmets, that it feels kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's not like you can just squish it or anything, but it has a bit of flex to it.
Right.
So especially with the undercuts on the tubes here, if you pull them in ABS, the faceplate will get stuck on the mold, and you either end up with tears down here on the chin,
yeah,
or you just can't get it off the mold without damaging the part. That's why the Hero was a lot softer as well.
Okay.
So it wouldn't pull in so deep. And so I guess what happened is Ainsworth tried it out, found out it works quite well. So they made them out of that green khaki green plastic.
Interesting.
And painted it white.
Yeah.
And then the ABS Hero helmets happened later on after the TIE Fighter pilots were made.
Okay.
And for the TIE Fighter, obviously, they already changed the faceplate to be not as sharp on the teeth and not have that undercut. So it would be able to form, he would be able to form the ABS.
And I would imagine one of the big things for going away from HDP is just how it cracks and it doesn't hold the paint very well. And, right. So they probably tried to get away from that pretty quick.
That's true. But I mean, I know for a fact that they kept patching up the paint work while the production was still going.
Sure.
So they had like brushes and just brushed over where the chips were.
Yeah.
So if you look closely at like reference pictures of original helmets, and you see different kind of whites on them, it's always where they patched them up.
Yeah.
And the paint reacted differently to 40 years of age. So
that's crazy, man.
That's why some of them are like all yellow in one spot, and then there's that white goopy spot where it's like where they just patched it up. And obviously that happened during production. Once after that, everything that shipped off just fell off.
So what about Sand Troopers? Were any of the Sand Trooper helmets made out of HDPE?
They were all HDPE.
Okay.
Two of them are like out there in public collections. RS actually refinished one with ears because it didn't come with the original ears. And there's one in the archives, and they're all HDPE as well.
That's interesting.
I'm pretty sure they reused them as well for Stormtrooper scenes later on because they're all cleaned up. None of them still have there's some remnants of the weathering, but it's not as harsh as it was in the movie.
Okay. That's interesting. RS, is this RS or is this something different?
Well, the bust is RS, and the chest boxes is RS as well. The Luke head that was done by a sculptor in Germany years and years and years ago. JRX was his name, and he did a Luke, he did a Leia, a Han, an Emperor, I think, in the early days of the RPF. And they're hard. The Obi-Wan that I have, that's one of his. But he's left the community ages ago.
Okay.
And that's a Novos Hoth jacket and the helmet is actually EFX, so that's a bit of a mishmash.
Oh yeah, it's cool though. Looks good. And this guy?
And that's from CFO, Cast from Original.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Guy in the UK as well, small shop, but very very nice and very eager guy. And he had the opportunity to cast an original, so that's with Lineage as well.
Steve, aren't you getting this, Steve?
I'm been on his wait list for like 6 months.
Okay.
Been a while.
I'm hoping to get. Aren't you too, right, Chris?
I am as well. Yes.
Yeah, hoping that
That was one of the very first ones. I think that's number 2. And what not many people know is that they're actually gray in the movie, and he actually had a batch of ABS made to match that gray. So that's as accurate as it gets, and
it's really cool.
So yeah, that's a very nice helmet.
Seeing it like that makes me want it even more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That is a deactivated Sterling, converted to an E11 blaster with a real scope on it and a real Hengstler, like that counter thing that's on the side.
Yep.
The power cylinders on the Mac are replicas because nobody's ever found the real ones. There's theories where they came from, probably like old military radios, but nobody's ever found one that's an exact match. Then there's a couple plastic T-Trex put on for sci-fi looks, and that's it. But yeah, that's another old piece of mine that
very cool.
I've had for maybe 10 years when those were still available, the deactivated Sterlings. Now it's possible to get them.
Right. And then you got some life-size droids here, right?
Life-size droids, yeah. That's where it all started for me. That R2, that was my first proper insane project, and I built that based on the R2 Builders files, and it's got a wooden frame, wooden legs. The outer skins I bought, which are laser cut aluminium, as well as the dome, and then I finished them, weathered them. The droid restraining bolt there is an actual found part, because what they used in the movie is like an old camera lens that you strip down and just take a couple parts of it, and then that's what they used. So yeah, that's R2. That's what got me started in on this whole insanity.
What's the C-3PO?
The 3PO is also a fan made.
Okay.
Well, mix and match really. It's a Zorg head. It's a guy from the RPF, but I don't think he's been doing our 3PO heads for quite a while now. TK409 chest and legs, and Moncal shorts, and the arms are from Mick Davis, a former RPF member. So yeah, lots of parts, like all the brass parts from different sources.
Yeah, mishmash a little bit.
Yeah, it took a couple of years to get it all together, and he's actually due for a for an update. So I've got a couple new parts, and the plan is to redo him completely and then have him properly chromed.
Okay. And then this guy?
And then there's that guy that Chris doesn't like.
I
actually like him. I do like him.
Did you make this or buy it somewhere?
Yeah, well, that's I 3D printed it.
Okay.
That was my first dive into 3D printing, and
looks great.
again, that took the better part of a year to finish, because 3D printing is a bitch. The printing itself is not so bad, because all you do is put the files on a stick, press a button, and hopefully the machine just prints it, as long as there's no trouble.
Yeah.
So that's easy, but then getting it all smoothed out and nicely finished, that's where all the work starts. And sanding those things is horrible, but in the end it pays off, because you get a nice prop that you wouldn't otherwise get.
Looks really nice.
I do like BB-8.
Fair enough.
So here's the display next. Here's the display next to it. You got the Regal Robot Chewie head, right?
Yeah, exactly. The minute they announced they're doing this, I knew I had to get one, and I basically tried to move every lever that I could just to make sure that I'll get one, because it was US only, and the whole, I mean, they released it during Celebration. And I was like really worried that it would just sell out straight away at
Yeah.
the booth, and they would not put anything online. So the minute it went up on the website, I ordered it. Basically went into debt for it.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
did.
Because I really had to get it, and it's a shame that Peter didn't get to sign the plaques actually, but it's such a beautiful piece, and as much as I love the new bust that you guys have, I wouldn't know where to put that, to be honest.
Yeah, totally.
It looks
It-
great in the
Probably
case.
3
Well,
times.
And you
That's
just I was gonna say this, Dan. I've seen the Chewy head in other displays, and this is probably the best I've seen it look
Absolutely.
as a Chewy head. I think sometimes it just, for some reason, the head alone doesn't do it for me in some cases. Like, I love it. And when
Yeah.
I originally this is what I wanted. Now that I have the bust, I'm like, I don't know how I would get this. I don't know, because I love the bust, but this looks fantastic. Like, the way you've got it set up here looks really, really good.
That case looks amazing.
Yeah, the case, that's more of a necessity because of the cats.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Sure.
With the hair and everything.
I bet. Yeah.
And they quite like the case as well, because that's like the highest point in the room that they can get to.
They can just jump on top.
They often end up just lying up on top of Chewy and
That's funny.
sleeping.
And right next to it, you got the Emphas Nest.
The Enfys Nest, that is another 3D print.
Beautiful.
That is so nice.
Yeah,
I
I know.
I love that design.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, it's so beautiful, and the whole organic nature to it. It's just really brilliant. And
Somebody's got to make one of these things.
people tried, and well, actually, this one, the 3D file that was done by Jesse Hayes, Puzzlebox Props is his name, and you can get it when you join his Patreon. So it's like $5, and then you can download them basically. And somebody was planning on molding it, like printing it and molding it and making casts available. Nothing ever came from it because it's so intricate, and so there's so many details on it, and a mold would have to be. The same with a melted Vader that Master Edie did.
Mm-hmm.
His mold died after like 15 pulls or something because of all that detail. So if you would mold that, that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah, I got
And
that
that's why
anyway.
nothing ever came from it.
Yeah, it's
So the
beautiful.
only way is really to print it and then go through the pain of getting it all smoothed out and
Yeah,
ready for
it's really pretty.
Jason and I have talked about getting this, printing this out, and getting you to paint it. We've, it's definitely, this is probably my favorite helmet out of all of them. If for me, this blows me away. It's such a great. There's so many great designs in some of the newer movies, in my opinion. I would love to have this, really. So
Yeah.
Well, count me in on that, Steve, too.
yeah, all right.
Yeah,
all right,
I'm interested.
Okay,
I'm
good.
interested.
Okay, good.
So this is a Master Replica Leia blaster, right?
Exactly, yeah. Signature edition.
Signature, and then
again,
what's this right here?
that is based on a 3D print. A guy in England, Steve Walker, was that his name? Or am I getting this confused? Or Steve something? Steve Noden, sorry, that's his name. He printed it out and then smoothed it out and made a mold. And he's selling them. And they're pretty cheap. They're like 70 quid or something, 75 quid. So
Really?
Yeah, it looks cool. I like it.
quite cool. And it looks, I think the likeness is pretty much spot on for
Yeah, it is. It's actually really nice.
a sculpt like that. So
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
thought it goes well with the blaster. It's a very recent edition as well. So
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Then we got a nice cabinet right here.
yeah,
As always, a fantastic Obi-Wan Mythos statue
Yeah.
on top.
that is actually one of the pieces that would deserve a better spot.
Mm.
if I
It's
had more
amazing.
space.
It's an amazing statue.
It's beautiful, and
Mhm. I agree.
I've had it like what I don't know when was it released originally? About 7 years ago, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe a little closer to
Um,
10, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
I
little
don't know.
longer even.
Anyway, I know when it was released, I got it secondhand from a guy for less than retail. It didn't come with a box, and
It's crazy.
the hand that's holding the lightsaber, the blade was like broken off, but it was a clean break right on the hilt, so it's just to like put a bit of super glue on it, put it back together.
Yeah.
And I've had it on display ever since in my old place, and now I wish I had a better place to put it, but yeah, that's the thing. When you can't stop buying stuff, you just run out of space at some
Of
point.
course. And so from bottom to top here in this cabinet, you've got some blasters.
Yeah, that's the two Han Solo and New Hope blasters.
Yep.
The Hero one, which is the lower one, is based on a deactivated Mauser. But the rest are replica parts. I never felt like forking out $1,000 for a scope, so
Yeah, I hear you.
replica will do. And the
then-
top one is the Greedo Killer, which they made
Oh, yeah.
for the pickup shots, and it's obviously a bit different
Mhm.
because they couldn't bring the actual live firing gun to the US back then, so they had to manufacture something for the pickup shots in the US.
Mhm.
And it's based on an MGC Mauser, like a model gun,
Mhm.
and that's the one that I used as well. And again, replica parts, except for the flesh hider, which is an original found part.
Cool. And this guy?
That's the Gentle Giant Luke on Town, and another one of my very early pieces that I bought 10 years ago at
Okay.
a convention, and yeah, it's stock. The Jabba there, that is actually Lisa's, like the Missus.
Oh, cool.
It's the Black Series one and the Black Series Leia.
Nice.
And
Rank-
it looks all right, and it works well with that Rancor, which is the AMT Ertl PVC kit that they did in the mid to late
Okay.
90s.
And you are
again,
you're gonna get a better version of the Rancor, right?
I think so, yeah.
That's exciting, man. It's gonna be
It is, yeah.
Talk
that one
about
I
a
finished
beautiful
myself,
piece.
so
Yeah.
I'll see how that holds up next to what will come.
Exactly. And then this is cool. I love this.
That's the Kotobukiya Macquarie set that was done for the, I think, 30th anniversary, was it?
Yeah.
Or 25th? I don't know.
That's killer. I really like that.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And I didn't pick them up when they came out. And I really hated myself for not doing it.
Mm.
And then at a convention here in Germany, there was a vendor that had them. And they come in like a huge freaking box, way bigger than it should be. And he had it for close to original retail.
Mm.
And that was
Are they crazy expensive now?
I haven't checked in a while, so I
Okay.
can't really tell you.
I really like
they
those.
were.
I'm looking at one right
originally-
now. It's on
Originally, they were like
eBay.
$150 or something, so really
Yeah.
cheap.
eBay's roughly around $700.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
that's,
Wow, for a
That's a lot.
Kotobukiya kit.
But they're look
That's-
how cool they are. Those are freaking
It's
sick.
awesome. It's
they're
awesome.
brilliant. I mean, I don't like that's when they did all the vinyl figures, like Luke
Yeah.
and Boba Fett and everything, and they all look kind of cheap. I mean, they were fairly cheap, and but you could tell because they always look very plasticky. But I think for that Macquarie look, it works quite well.
All right, so moving along. Here's your master replica Falcon. Like I said, it's talk about a beautiful display. You've really got this set up really nice.
What are the signatures from?
It's the signature edition, so
Wow.
it has Harrison Ford on the right and Peter Mayhew. I added which I got at Celebration Anaheim.
Very nice.
So I thought
Killer.
you should be there as well.
That is very great idea.
Yeah, that's killer.
Not happening anymore though.
No, that's an awesome idea.
They match really well too. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's the plaque was done by Ariel Martinez, guy who does custom plaques, and I added the white because he doesn't do the white part, so I painted that on.
Okay.
And,
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's killer. And you got a little showing
those are custom figures that
Mhm.
Philip Robinson did for the Master Replicas Falcon too. So to have
Very
the
cool.
crew in there was on flight.
Yeah, it's cool.
Um,
And then you got this
Um,
thing.
There's a found part that's a lamp cover that they used on the actual Falcon sets for the lights in the corridors. That's the middle bit. That's the found part, and then that frame around it that's manufactured, and and I built the whole cushion for it to sit on.
Cool.
Nice.
Now we're getting into some more wider shots. We'll go into tights of these as well, but so I don't want to talk through every piece right now because we will go through tights. But this is a great setup. And these are Detolfs, right?
Golfs, yeah. The whole thing is powered by IKEA.
Oh, there you go. Honestly, this is one of the best uses of Detolfs I've seen to make a setup look good. Because Detolfs sometimes just aren't the best, and but you really make them work here. It's really
I
nice.
actually stole that idea from the RPF when other collector, not a Star Wars collector, but he posted a picture and he had a similar setup, and I liked it so much that I copied it back in my old place, and it works really well. I think
It's really nice. It's really nice.
Very.
And you've got another one right here next to it. Looks really killer. And then down here. So this is all along that wall, right? Just all
exactly
all along
that's
that
the
back
one
wall.
wall. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. So let's go through some of these pieces. Vader helmet.
Yeah, a New Hope Vader helmet that I finished myself, and it's a little lineage cast as well.
It's pretty.
I
I want to get a Vader helmet at some point. That's really really nice.
I kind of want ESB or Return of the Jedi one, but then I wouldn't know where to put it, and New Hope is my favorite one, so it's that for now.
It's crazy how a New Hope Vader, you don't really think about it, but he was kind of like, this is kind of like all messed up. You know what I mean? Like Jason's mentioned that too, that the paintwork and all that stuff's kind of really shoddy on it.
It is, yeah. And it's not the high gloss perfect finish that people think it is.
That you think
it is in Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But in New Hope it was like really rough. But I like that.
Yeah. And then Emperor here, man, this is cool looking.
Yeah, that's another piece by Philip Robinson, the guy in the UK. And he's currently working on a new version of it, version 2.
Oh, okay.
That's been out for at least a decade. And he finished that as well. So I got that perfectly finished off him. And I'm really, it has a very like evil presence to it.
For being that old, it's held up. It works. It's pretty impressive for being that old. Seriously. Yeah. That'll be interesting to see if when he makes a version 2, what that looks like. That's cool. Here we go. Steve, I'm sure Chris is wetting himself right now.
I want one of those. Like we got to get.
I know you do.
Dan, we got to get Rob to make one.
I've told them they need to do one for years now. Basically, ever since they found that or got the original Snowtrooper helmet, and we realized that beneath the cowl, that is basically the commander piece with with the nostrils in it.
Yeah.
So basically, what it would need is just making it longer and add that like plastic cowl shape to it. And I know they were like, yeah, we're going to do that. But with them, they have so much going on.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. But they look so nice together. It's
They do.
strange to me to actually say that I like the Commander better than the Grunt, but I really do now.
Well,
I prefer it as well. I
Well,
was never a really big fan of the Snowtrooper, like the with the vinyl cowl.
yeah.
Just
I've
looks like-
always been a fan of it, and then I've actually been a fan of the Grunt for as long as I can remember. But
like
then, and I didn't even really notice the Commander until recently, and then now I'm like, holy crap, I like it so much better.
Yeah, the Commander was done by Dan Laws again ages ago, and he's not doing them anymore.
Oh man,
So there's a real hole in the market there.
Well,
There
we
sure
know Rob and I mean, come on, Rob and Simon have to be watching this. So get on it.
Come on, guys. Go.
So mush. So let's see. We've got a Rex helmet.
Yeah, that's a bit
very,
of an oddball in my collection.
very nice looking Rex helmet though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have every picture you put up of this, every angle, and I'm right now painting a Rex, and I'm copying just about everything you're doing. Like I just
Okay.
love that one. That's the best looking one I've ever seen.
Did you make this?
thank
Did you finish this?
I painted it. I
Dan?
finished
Okay,
it.
okay.
It
Yeah, it
was
looks really
made
nice.
by a guy in Germany who goes by Sanitized Creations.
yeah, for sure. I've heard of them.
And he casted it, and then I finished the whole thing. And,
Looks great.
yeah. I quite like it because it combines the two clone helmet designs, so I have both in one.
Mm-hmm.
The weathering's really nice, Dan.
So thank you.
So let's so these are some masks, correct?
They're masks, yeah. The Nine Num was done by Chris Stevens,
Yep.
guy in Ireland, or somewhere on that island there. And the Akbar is done by Seven Heads, Ten Horns, sculptor in the US.
Oh, cool.
It was his first version. He's done another version since then. And I picked that up on eBay. Again, it's been there for years.
Looks great. Bausch.
Yep, that is the cloth ears Bausch that I got as a kit and built and finished myself.
Listen to Steve.
He's like self-gratified.
Such a massive sigh.
I love this helmet. It's
You're gonna get one.
yes,
coming,
I
Steve.
know.
The RF version is going to come, and it's going to be even better.
It's gonna be awesome.
And the armor, that's cloth ears as well. We actually have the whole costume that the missus wears
Oh, that's
from
cool.
time to time. If I could, I would have more of it on display. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Why does the missus wear it from time to time? Are we
Well,
are we talking about Comic Cons or are we talking
yeah,
about
for conventions
fun
or
time?
events. Like,
Okay.
not kinky stuff. Just
Okay. That's what I was wanting to know. Okay. So not that it's my
we have
business,
that
but I
other
still want to know.
outfit for that.
Okay. So so moving on, we've got Short Trooper helmet. Is this a Novos?
Yeah. That is an Anovos helmet, but it's been refinished completely
Yeah, it looks really nice.
to make it look more like the actual props, not
By
like
whom? By you?
by Mr. Paul. Not sure if you know him. He's a guy. He's like really hugely into Shore Troopers, and he's done the whole armor as 3D files that I've printed, and I'm still finishing. And
Oh,
he
cool.
redid the helmet for me, and it's a brilliant job. So if you're looking at having that done, he's the one to talk to. But he's in the UK, so that's
Yeah.
gonna make things harder for you guys.
It's beautiful though. It really is beautiful.
Yeah.
Makes me want
Alright.
to weather mine a little more.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
RS Scout.
RS Scout again, finished by me.
Signature?
Signature edition, but yeah, I got it as a kit and finished it myself.
Love it.
That's just a run-of-the-mill Anovos Death Trooper.
Novos Death Trooper. Yeah.
With a bit of soil from Iceland in that little bottle. where
Oh,
they
cool.
filmed it.
Cool.
There you go. That's really cool. This guy.
And that's the CFO Return of the Jedi helmet. Actually, one from the very first sessions that were done, because I was over in England when CFO started, and that is one of the very first helmets that we pulled, and I again finished it myself.
Dude, they are so weird looking, aren't they? Those
Yeah,
Return
they're
of
in
the
the
Jedi
quiet
helmets.
They
So
are in the quiet
strange,
phase.
man.
They
God,
look
it's
like
so weird.
they look like set puppy dogs. It's just
Yeah, it's so weird, man. It's so weird.
Do all the Return of the Jedi ones look like that?
they all look like that. Yeah.
Wow.
You can actually tell that it's based on the A New Hope one, because when you see
Yeah.
them side by side, they have similar tells, but I don't know what happened from like taking an A New Hope helmet and molding it and making new molds. I don't know where in that process it ended up looking so sucky. I have no idea why.
It's like a stormtrooper with weird chromosomes.
Yeah, it's super squished and super soft in the details, and it's just weird. The like that space between the lenses, the eyes, is so wide compared to like an A New Hope helmet. It's just
Bizarre.
crazy. It's really odd, but that's what they were like. So
let's move on. So this is
that's an RS helmet.
okay.
Again,
Hero.
helmet finished by me, as
Gorgeous.
most of the helmets are. So, and I pay like much attention to making it as wide as possible, because I like the wide look, and that's the one. And there's a comlink in front of it that's based on the original found part, the tom tip engine part, and a mic tip to finish.
So
it off.
when you got this as a kit, you painted everything on it.
Yeah.
Did you paint it white too?
No, that is
Okay.
the raw ABS.
Okay.
Um,
Looks very bright.
Yeah, it's killer.
Yeah, it looks shinier than it is in that picture, though.
Okay.
Is this RS as well?
Another RS helmet, yeah, another one that I finished myself. Very early tie helmet that they did.
Yeah, looks great.
Now in the face where the mohawk hits the forehead, are only two of those forks silver or all of them silver?
You mean the mohawk bit?
Yeah, right on the forehead there, the upside down, the M, whatever the shape of the M. Are two of those forks
No,
silver?
just the middle one.
All three of them are?
No, he said just the
middle
middle one.
one is silver on this one, but they are different.
Okay.
On that hero, it's just the middle bit. And,
Okay, the middle one.
There's
All right.
other ones that have like the whole mohawk silver. And,
Okay.
So yeah, depends on what version you choose.
I can't wait to get mine.
I know, we know. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. No,
this is
all right.
cool.
Death Star droid.
Yeah, that's a special one done by Gordon Tarpley.
That's cool.
Guy that's now working for Tom as well.
Yep.
And he sculpted that himself ages ago, and I wanted one, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And it actually took me going to Anaheim and meet him there and pick it up in person, because he was terrible with shipping. But it's a beautiful piece that
It is. It's very pretty.
It's a bit rough around the edges, but I actually like that, because that adds to the whole OT spirit. You know, it's clean, and it's got a couple of dings and a couple like tool marks still in it, but that's what makes it more authentic.
The look of this droid keeps growing on me. The look of this droid, it really does.
That's another new sculpt as well. So
yeah, I'm excited for. Hopefully we can get one of these at some point down the line. Then we've got an RS. Is this Alan Harris? Alan Harris signature?
Yeah, that's the signature edition that they did for the ESP helmets, but that is an actual greenlit again that I finished myself and just paired with that signature plaque. The original signature helmets were ABS. But, yeah.
What are the two pieces on the side?
They are hand plates.
Okay.
ESB hand plates cast from original.
Okay.
Very cool. And then we've got the medical droid.
Yep, that's the Zork kit from the RPF. Again, that I finished myself, and it has the actual found part mic in the front, which is a Shure mic.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
So the cast comes with a cast-in mic, but I cut that out and put the original one in.
It lights up.
The eyes light up, yeah.
Nice.
So cool. RS Biggs helmet.
Nope, actually
No?
not.
Not
No.
RS.
It's not RS for a change, because
Looks-
I've had
looks
that
like
long
RS.
before RS even started.
Oh, okay. So you had it before
right.
that.
Even before RS even existed. And that is an old Golden Armor helmet, which is huge.
Oh,
It's too
interesting.
big compared to the originals.
Hmm.
Oh. Okay.
yeah.
Golden Armor, the guy who casts like the A-wing and B-wing helmets too, right? He's
he's still around, but
yeah, I just bought an A-wing helmet from him to paint.
yeah, he's it's not a bad kit. It's very nice, but it's a little big, but I've had it for 10 years or so.
Okay. CZ3.
Another Zork head.
Okay.
Also predates the Regal Robot CZ3 by a long time, and it's probably not as accurate because it's the fan sculpt.
Yeah, sure.
But again, it's one of those things that I picked up, finished myself, and that creeps out the missus. So
It creeps out a lot of people.
that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was one of those things that is staring at you while you're eating, and you're just looking over your shoulder.
I just got a death stare of her.
Yeah.
From her.
This is Mandalorian helmet. So this is the FX version.
The FX one, yeah, that I'm hopefully having refinished at some point because I don't like the factory finish on it at all.
Okay.
And that's the necklace thing that he gives to the child.
Yeah.
Which apparently was bought by Jon Favreau from a guy at a convention, and he's still doing them.
Oh, crazy.
Done by the
What are
same
your-
guy for the show.
What are your thoughts on the EFX versus the Anovos? Which one?
Well,
And-
I've not seen an Anovos one in hand,
Okay.
so I can't really say. I'm quite happy with the EFX one, except for the finish, which is horrible.
A little bit heavy-handed on the weathering, perhaps.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks in pictures, it looks really good, but when you see it in the flesh, it's like almost black. It doesn't like the reflections that you see here don't really show up in real life. It's like very, very dark, not really reflective finish. So it's not like the original anyway.
Okay.
So I don't mind the weathering so much, but it's just the paint, and like it looks like a dull, to the eye, it looks like a dull metallic, dark car finish, which is nothing like it should be, I think.
Right. Okay, so we've got Jedi training remote.
Yeah, that's the Master Replicas one, and then we've got an original Graflex converted to a New Hope Saber.
Yeah, I got to get one of those. That's cool.
And a couple found parts thrown together to look like a macro binocular. There's another part in front of it that I still have to put on it, and it's not completely finished, but yeah,
It looks great.
That's a project there.
Another same sculptor.
Same sculptor as the Luke,
Yep.
the Obi-Wan sculpt, and the saber is a Russ Rep one. He was around before Romans.
Okay.
A guy in the UK who did a replica. It's very similar to the Romans.
Yeah,
Probably the
Romans
saber guys would kill me for saying that. But yeah, it's very nice and heavy.
Yeah.
That's an RS helmet that I've finished myself in a custom paint scheme. And it's based on my youth idol, Steve Harris, the bass player for Iron Maiden.
Yeah, cool. That's really cool.
So yeah, I put my own spin on it, and It's based on his bass guitar. I don't have a picture of it on now because I'll show you later. And the mic tip or the mic actually has a bass string on it instead of like a cable.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's just a bit of a personal piece.
Very cool. And then this guy.
The graphics is a replica, early one, Pax, I think, converted to an Empire Strikes Back saber.
Yep.
That I've had again for ages. The Yoda lamp there, that was an RPF run again, probably 7 years ago or something. It's not the last one that Scott did, but the guy before that goes by the nickname Matt Black. Don't know his real name anymore. And then we've got the Hoth binocular, which is a kit by another RPF member called Obi-Wan, and he cast an original night vision thingy and made kits of it again ages ago, and I finished it myself.
It seems like we need to just hang around the RPF and find things because you seem to have gotten a lot of your pieces off of people
Well,
from
before Facebook, the RPF was the place to go.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I
Forums
don't
are
think-
hard to navigate though sometimes.
Yeah,
It's like they just keep
That-
piling on
that's
top
what-
of each other rather than categorizing everything.
yeah. So that's why I used to hang out.
Yeah, I used to
Still
hang on a
there.
Rebel Scum all the time.
Yeah, I've been registered to Rebel Scum for years, but I never really got involved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I was about for a long time. That is gorgeous.
Sideshow. Is this called the Vader reveal? Is that what this is called?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what people call it anyway.
Yeah,
It's a
sure.
Sideshow Vader reveal bust that I have on display with the actual face, because the helmet is not very accurate.
Right,
on it,
right.
and I think it has a lot more presence with that Anakin lights on it rather than with a helmet. And that's the Master Replicas. Emperor Kane and Peter Cushing autograph framed next to it.
Yeah. Killer. And here's a good example of your cats hanging out.
Exactly. That's a good example of why I need acrylic cases.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a pilot. He likes to lie on there. It's the effects TIE Fighter model.
Yep.
That I bought when they originally were released. And we've got the Master Replicas detonator. A couple solo fan-made parts there. The dice and that Stormtrooper doll from Rogue One that came from Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, very cool. And then moving on, we got life-size Yoda.
Yeah, one of my favorite pieces. Another sculpt by Philip Robinson, who also did the Emperor and the small Han and Chewie that's set in my Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
That's his version 6, I believe, that
Okay.
he's on. So he's been doing them. Another RPF alumni, and he's been doing them for quite a while. And I'm lucky to have most of the versions myself. And again,
Cool.
that's something I finished myself. So the hat and the hands and feet and the body are actually Phil's work, and the cane as well. The ropes are again probably about 10 years old and from an RPF run that somebody did, not Phil. So yeah, that's another mishmash and finished by myself. So
That's
but I
really cool.
really like it. It's one of my favorite pieces.
And then moving on, this is the opposite wall, right?
That's the opposite wall, and obviously sequel based.
Yep.
So that's where Chris can sign off now.
Yeah, you can just hang out. I like this. This is really cool. So we've got
That's a Nano of Us tie helmet that I added the tube to and the decal on the front.
yeah, it's killer.
Mhm.
A Novos as well.
Nope, because they never
What is-
released
what is-
it.
Oh, they didn't. Okay, what is this one?
Nope. That is a fan-made one by a guy called John Snow, I think.
Okay.
And it's a very, very beautiful cast for a fan-made helmet. There was next to nothing comes when it comes to cleanup to do to it. So I just came straight out of the box. I painted it, finished it, and that's how it came.
It's really nice. Yeah, it's really
Very
nice.
beautiful. And of course, there's a 3D printed Luke green milk bottle. Probably the best prop.
Yeah,
from the
that's
sequel
fantastic.
trilogy.
That's fantastic.
Now there, I gotta draw the line.
That's fantastic.
That was just
That's awesome.
that was horrible.
Is this a Novos?
That's a Novos, yeah.
Yeah, this is a beautiful helmet. I have this one.
It is really beautiful.
It really is nice.
They've really outdone themselves on that one. Another Novos helmet.
Another Novos Phasma.
Yeah, when you look close, you can see it has the same hairline cracks in the clear coat that most of them have.
Okay.
You can see
supposed to have that?
on the chin. That's what they all have. Apparently, that's the clear coat reacting to the chrome,
Oh wow.
which is okay. But otherwise, it's a beautiful helmet as well.
So that's a defect, or is that how it is supposed
Yeah,
to be?
they all have that, and they shouldn't
Oh.
have. And they come after a while. You get it when you get it, or when people got them, they were perfectly nice and smooth, and then these cracks start showing up after.
Oh wow. Okay. Interesting.
Wow. Don't
Yeah.
worry, Novos will help you out with that. They'll fix
Yeah,
it.
they'll once they go out of business, they'll help you.
That's
So
another Novos helmet. That's actually the marketing helmet that we did for 501st, before they even released it to the public. That I refinished to a fin helmet,
yeah, I love it. It's fantastic.
and that is the Nissan Gentle Giant collectible.
Okay.
It's a solid piece. It's not a helmet. It's like a solid piece of
Chris,
resin.
do you have a
I have
similar
the range trooper one of this. I wasn't
Yeah.
aware they came out with this one. I knew they did
Yeah,
the
they-
Death Trooper.
They did the Death Trooper, the Range Trooper, and that Executioner.
Okay.
Yeah,
very
I
cool.
did not know they did this one. That's nice.
Uh,
That's a nice piece.
I was,
It is
I was
nice.
trying to get the Range Trooper as well, but never got it.
I just got it like a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool.
They're rare.
Yeah.
That's a very recent edition. That's the Anovos Ray salvage helmet.
Yep.
Which I didn't get from Anovos directly.
Yeah, well, of course not.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have it probably.
I like that it has the black ear pads. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah, it's a very nice helmet. It's not super accurate though, because apparently the original in the movie was based on an EFX helmet
Okay.
that they
Oh, okay.
repainted, and that one's slightly different. I don't know. It's probably based on their Rogue One helmet, which is a different kind of X-wing helmet again, but that's very nitpicky now.
Yeah.
But the finish for factory finish, it's really nice, and it works quite well.
Mascanada.
Yep. I've forgotten the name of the sculptor. It was painted by, again, forgot his name. Down. Steve something in the US. And
Looks great.
it's really beautiful. You can actually move the glasses up and down as well. So
Oh, that's cool.
it still needs a hat, but you can't see on that picture. No,
This-
that's
this-
another RPF pickup.
Yeah, this shelf right here is beautiful.
That one's very simple. It's just the head wrap and the glasses, the goggles to make a scavenger ray
Yeah.
on a cheap eBay mannequin stand, which
Cool though.
has has a beautiful presence to it, although it's very easy.
Yeah.
That's cool. That is really nice.
And next to it, we've got the capacitor that she rips out of the Star Destroyer, which is all found parts. It's actually a screwdriver housing from Poundland, like a really cheap screwdriver set, and a machine collet on the bottom, and then just the top greebly and the ring put on the housing. So I built that myself and from all the found parts.
It's really
Blaster
cool.
was done by a friend in Germany in stainless steel. It's slightly oversized for the actual prop, but it's beautiful, and it's got lights and sound as well, which you can't see now, but yeah, it's cool. And that's a wristband in the back. And that is part of the armor that I wear. It's Janova's premium helmet or premium helmet on there. And the armor is that marketing kit that they made for the 501st, which had extensive modifications done by me to make it more accurate, including some cast from original pieces. And yeah, it's the small sidearm blaster next to it, and the repainted maglite that they had seen in The Force Awakens hanging from the holster. It's just a maglite painted white.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Thank you.
So I did that like just a little obscure prop. And we've got Luke Skywalker's compass that brought into Act 2, another piece from the RPF.
Very cool. And this is the one that Steve's got behind him, right? Is that correct?
I think that's the Master EV2. Pretty sure the one that Steve's got is the V1. And
Okay.
there's now a V3.
V1 with the skull.
Same guy. And
Yeah.
through it, like done a couple iterations.
Beautiful. And
So
this
that's the
is
office that we were
this is
talking
the
about
office.
earlier.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the office.
And yeah,
Really
there's
nice.
a couple of first order weapons up there, another first order helmet. That's the standard line Anovos helmet, again extensively modded by myself. And we've got the IG-88 hat, which is an actual Derwent engine burner can, like a found part. That's it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And there's a couple more Stormtrooper bits in that cabinet.
Yeah, you got the boots, original.
Yeah, that's the original boots that are used during filming. It's a set of Stuart boots, painted white, because the originals, that's what they did. They bought black Chelsea boots and painted them white. And
Yep.
that is not that's the same model. It's not a screen used pair. I'm not that rich. But yeah, that's what that is. And we've got the promo blaster, like the hero one on promotional shots. That's
Yeah.
never used by any Stormtrooper in the film. And a little third scale, set for stun helmet based on the 3D scan of that original helmet. Again,
Don't the Mando stormtroopers use that gun?
yeah, I think they used it. The Death Troopers use it in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And the Dr. Evazan blaster in the cantina is similar to it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it wasn't used in Any Hope by any Stormtroopers, but
Nice.
the promo hero one uses it.
See,
That's two more.
more and more,
two
more and more, I want to get one of these. Like this is
Some
an
green.
this is an unfinished HTP, right?
Yeah, that's the very first one that the RS guys made for me, and it's still unfinished, and I'll keep it like that. It's basically like a tribute to how science
Yeah.
is now.
I really like that. I kind of want to get one of those.
Steve, that's a #1 stunt helmet. #1 stunt RS stunt helmet.
Does it say number one on it? Really?
Says #1 on it. Yep.
I thought that Simon only got number ones.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a 5.
Five
Oh,
of
it's 5?
100.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Looks
It's not
like
a
1 to me.
The Simon's got all the one.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
That's
it
a
looks
5.
looks really cool. I'll have to ask him about this because I know they don't actually sell the HTPs raw like this. I don't think.
Not anymore. They used to, but I'm sure if you talk to them,
Yeah, I'll have to see if that's possible or not.
The thing is, they don't want to sell them unfinished because they don't want it to make it easy for recasters to.
Of course, I
take
get
them
that.
apart and
I can understand that.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
recast them. That's the McQuarrie concept Stormtrooper helmet done by Skygun Bro, a guy in the US. Again, I got it as a kit and finished it myself. And that's the Gentle Giant bust next to it. And a very old RPF piece again with the concept sculpt. Again, was sold as a kit and I finished it myself. and that's two old ones. That is the very first helmet that I did, like screen accurate style. It's not an actual HDBE helmet. It's like an ABS cast, ABS tool that I painted to match the Set for Stun helmet as it is today, and that's at least 10 years old. And back then, everyone thought I was crazy for doing this. And it's sort of caught on now.
A little bit.
And that's another CFO Return of the Jedi helmet from that same first session.
Gosh, so weird looking, man. It's
so ugly.
Strange.
Especially seeing it next to like an A New Hope.
Yeah, when you see them next to each other, it's crazy.
That's actually a Super TE Set for Stun helmet. So that's, again, predates RS. That is a dome that I built for Celebration Europe 2 for Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Because the R2 builders were approached. I was doing a lot of promotional events at that time with my R2 for Lucasfilm, like for Electronic Arts when they did the Old Republic and all that. So I did the Gamescom, the biggest video game convention here in Germany.
Yeah.
Similar things. So they knew me and they sent us an email and said, listen, Warwick wants a stage droid for the main stage at Celebration, to just have him around and do shenanigans with him, basically.
Yeah.
Can you come up with a design and can you build it? We'll pay for it. So I converted my R2 because it was like maybe a month time or something. So I converted my R2 to that because they said, do what you want, but it can't be an R2 unit. Like not an R2 dome. So I built that R4 dome. It's sheet styrene with a wooden frame inside. Came up with a paint job. If you go down to the next picture, that's the C2 hidden logo on the side there.
Yeah.
It was signed by the stage crew, Warwick, DJ Elliott, Mark Daniels, and it also has Matt Bush on it, which is
Bush.
Yeah, it's an artist. And Mary Franklin, who was then still with Lucasfilm, and she was the one that organized all this. And yeah, I built it and spent basically the whole convention on the main stage controlling that droid during the main panels.
It's really cool.
DJ Elliott was actually voicing him and making snarky remarks during the panels. That was fun, and it was like really amazing to be there, be backstage with all the stars, see them in their natural, like not in their entertainment mode,
in their human form.
Yeah, just being humans. And they say never meet your heroes, but that when I met Mark Hamill backstage, and he was like, he's a child at heart, and he came and he was just so down to earth, and there were a couple kids there by crew members and also Warwick's kids. And he just came in, and the first thing that was, he sat down and started playing with the kids with the toys. You know, they had like Star Wars action figures that they picked up at the show, and he just sat down and played with them. That was what he did. He didn't like go for the catering or anything. That was the first thing that came to his mind.
Yeah,
that was so endearing to see.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that was a very special opportunity. That.
Thank you for letting us go through your. See your collection and kind of really get a good idea of everything. Like you've got a killer setup, some really cool pieces. And
thank you.
We definitely, when we started to think about this whole collection tour thing and how we were going to do it, you're one of the names that was definitely brought up that we wanted to go through. So we appreciate you taking the time.
Dan, can you share with everybody your kind of philosophy on your collection? What are the rules? What are the things that you're thinking about when considering putting a piece into your collection? What's the criteria, your motivation, etc., on how you put your collection together?
Yeah, well, since the whole thing started for me as more of a building hobby, when R2 was basically my first prop or my first proper project. I was never really into the whole license stuff, except when it's nice. The license doesn't matter to me. I buy what I like, and if it's close to what we see on screen, that's what I like.
Yeah.
And if there's something that I can do myself, that I can finish myself, because that's kind of my artsy outlet as well, to like finish props, paint them, and everything. So that's a huge part of the hobby for me. That makes it even better. And that's what got me involved with RS early on as well, because even then I was already quite knowledgeable about Stormtroopers, so they approached me, and that's how I got in contact with them, because that's what drives me, and what also drove me to help them, because I knew they had an opportunity there when that original suit came up. Because I was already talking to Rob before that, before RS even started, when he was still Boba Fett UK. And he said, yeah, there's a guy who says he's got an original suit. And I was like, yeah, sure. He's another nutter who thinks his Ainsworth suit is the original or something.
Yeah.
And then the first showed up and it was like, holy crap, that is an actual original suit.
It's actual real.
That was unheard of at that point. Anyway, well, there's a couple in private collectors' hands, but they wouldn't let anyone near it. And that's what drove me to help them, because I knew that it's an opportunity that we won't get anytime soon again.
Yeah.
And I just knew I had to help them to make it as good as possible. And that's what I strive for, making the things as close to what we see on screen as possible. It's not as much about the license, but I've been doing this for over a decade, way over a decade, 13, 15 years, something like that. And back then it was the RPF, that was where the hardcore crowd was. And there were like a handful of us who like really cared and tried to replicate what was on screen. And that's gotten, I'm not saying it's mainstream now, but a lot more people have warmed up to it. Like you guys, like going from, I want the pristine license thing that looks like the Empire would actually make it, to I have that creptacular green lit with chips and hand painted detail and everything. But that's once you get that bug, it stays forever.
Yeah.
And it bit me very early on, and that's my take on collecting. If it looks like it came off the screen, because I will never be able to actually afford an original, so I'll have to do with the best forgery that I can get.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's my take on it.
That's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's listen, we really appreciate you kind of walking us through everything and letting us see into your little world of collecting, and obviously telling us your philosophy on it. It's always a breath of fresh air when we get to see other people's collections, see how they display things, how they go about collecting. Super interesting. And I think it helps other collectors. It helps us kind of decide, okay, we want to make some decisions that, on how we want to collect things, and maybe use some of your collection as reference, other people's collections as reference. I mean, not Steve's, but I think there's plenty there's plenty out there that I think all of us want to, that we can aspire to. So thank you, Dan, again, for coming on and taking your time to do this.
Well, thank you for having me. And obviously, if anyone's watching, I love talking about this stuff. So if anyone's got questions about any of these pieces, just send me a message, and I'll tell you all about it, probably more than you actually want to know. So, I'm here, and I'm ready to talk.
Yeah, perfect. And Dan, again, one thing I want to say is thank you for being a part of our group and a part of our small community. I know got, I'm sure, plenty of other places to hang out and people to hang out with, but we appreciate when you come and hang out with us every now and then. And we just, that's cool of you to do that. So
We love when you post new pictures of your stuff.
yeah, it's great. That's great.
Mhm.
I'll keep doing that.
So yeah, we really appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and check out, we'll have some more of these. Obviously, we like doing this stuff, so we'll have more of these coming up. So thanks, and see you later.
See ya.